Good morning. Thank y'all for all coming and supporting the Policyholder Preservation Association of America. We are very appreciative of y'all being here.
Okay.
We
It's
want to
on the
do a
deal,
little
download it on your
introduction.
phone.
The guys are
On
going
the
to
site,
speak,
PPA of
and then we
America.
will get into the main speakers and go on with the next 3 days. Thank y'all.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Policyholder Preservation Association of America's first annual conference. We appreciate the support that everybody has shown to what we're doing, what we're attempting to do. We plan on giving 3 days of higher education. The industry has a bunch of fantastic conferences that go on throughout the year. They're very good for sportsmanship, for networking, for a lot of things. This one is geared specifically towards education and education alone. So we're glad to see everybody here. I think Shaun's going to open up with the prayer, and then we'll move forward with the conference. Thank you all for coming.
We'll have a quick prayer, and then we'll get started. Father, thank you for looking over everybody as they traveled here today. Thank you for the rain we received. We know there's parts of the state that really needed it, but we also realize that there were many over in Louisiana that suffered flooding and damage to their property from it. So please be with them through this difficult time. Please be with all the speakers during this conference. Allow them to speak clearly, to convey their passion, and to fight a good fight. We realize that working on behalf of policyholders, we're often fighting on behalf of insureds that have suffered loss. We pray that we can advocate effectively for them, that we can be truthful, honest, and fair with our assessments, and always advocate openly for them. Dear Lord, please look after those who attend this conference, and please bless them as they travel back. In your Son's name, amen.
Amen.
Good morning. Thank you all for coming out. Good morning. Y'all can do better than that. I know it's rainy outside. I know it's kind of a gray day, but let's try it one more time, okay? Good morning. Good morning. All right, that's better, right? Let's be excited what we're here to talk about. We're here to advocate for our clients, advocate for the policyholder. So I want to tell you a little bit about the reason that Cal and Melanie and I really put together the boot camp. And while we're going to continue on with that, we also put together Policyholder Preservation Association of America, because we're all three very passionate about protecting the policyholder. And I know you're here today because you're very passionate about protecting the policyholder. Make no doubt about it, we are an industry that is under attack. We are an industry that's under attack. Let that sink in for a minute. We're being attacked by insurance companies. Right? They're happy to keep us separated and segregated. They want to keep contractors fighting with public adjusters fighting with policyholder attorneys. Look at UPA. Do they have that on their side? Do they have a law that says IAs can't do this, but in-house adjusters can? No, it's just on the policyholder side. Look at the unauthorized practice of law. It's something that they can use to hold over our heads to say, no, if you cross that line, you could be committing a felony, whether that's the unauthorized practice of public adjusting or the unauthorized practice of law. So you have UPA, you have UPL. They're wanting to keep us disorganized, separated, and segregated. It's divide and conquer. If you're going up against somebody and you're competing against them, if there's an inherent conflict there, do you want to go up against somebody that's organized? Do you want to go up against an army that's organized and well-funded and working together on the same team? Or do you want to go up against a disorganized band of misfits? What they've done is try to create that on this side. They've tried to create us where we're disorganized so they can divide and conquer. So we created Policyholder Preservation Association of America, PPA of America. What's PPA? We're looking to preserve the rights of policyholders. Notice I said preserve the rights of policyholders. We got to protect what we have before we can advocate to get better laws on the books. Carriers are consistently chipping away to try to weaken the rights of policyholders. How do they do that? State legislature. They don't like the laws that are on the books in a state. They go and change it. Look what we've been fighting in Florida, in Texas, in Georgia, just this year. They don't like the laws, they go in and change it. Another way they're trying to chip away at it is terms and coverages under the policy. They constantly add onerous provisions into the insurance policy. Exclusions. We'll talk about all those exclusions here in this conference. Exclusionary language that makes it difficult to fully indemnify the insured to get what you owe under the policy. Most insureds are effectively self-insured. Stop and think of that for a second. Most insureds are effectively self-insuring, meaning that they didn't have a claim for 10 years. When they did have a claim, after applying the policy terms and conditions, the percentage deductible, the depreciation on the claim, maybe they had a $30,000 claim, but they get a check for $2,500 at the end of it. If you look at what they paid in their annual premium, oftentimes it exceeds that. So when you have a claim, and maybe only have it once in a decade, and the payout is less than you pay in the annual premium every single year, you're effectively self-insured. Another way they're chipping away at it is bad precedent, trying to set bad precedent through the court system. So that's one reason we want to get on the same team, because we want to set good precedent that's out there. Because once bad precedent gets set, it impacts all of us. We are David versus Goliath. Make no doubt about it, we're David. The insurance companies are Goliath. We're going up against the most well-funded, well-oiled machine that spends more money on lobbying every year than virtually any other industry. I think pharmaceutical drug companies are the only ones that spend more on lobbying every year than insurance companies do. But David had a plan, right? David had a well-thought-out plan. He executed the plan flawlessly, and all it took was one good shot to bring down Goliath. If we execute on this side, we can do the same thing. Executing effective advocacy for our clients is key on every claim. We have to push back and fight for the policyholder on every single claim. A well-documented file will prevail. If contractors, public adjusters, attorneys spend the time working the file and documenting it, putting together that plan and executing it, we can prevail on this side. So I got a call the other day from a big insurance company, and Becky transferred the phone to me. And so I answered the phone, and they said, "Mr. Hodge, we're here to talk to you about claim number 154296. I said, wait. What do you mean 154296? Well, yeah, they filed a claim, and we're here to talk to you about claim number 154296. I said, stop. I don't represent claim numbers. None of us should represent claim numbers. I said, tell me a name and I'll tell you their story. He scrambled, he's typing in his computer. Oh, it's, Miss Johnson. Well, let me tell you about Miss Johnson's claim, okay? She's not claim number 154296. That may be a claim number you assigned to her at the insurance company, but I want to tell you about her loss, okay? She was in a hurricane. She's been displaced. She's living in a hotel right now. She has kids that are trying to do online learning with bad Wi-Fi. And she's having to drive down to a coffee shop every day to try to get adequate Wi-Fi. She wouldn't have had to do any of this if you had paid the claim properly. We don't represent claim numbers on this side. We represent individuals. I have a video posted on my website saying, I want to know your story and I want to tell your story. Okay? Part of being an effective advocate, you have to do the Xactimate estimate. You have to do all the documentation. You have to do the photographs. You have to do all of that. That is part of building your claim. But if that's where your documentation ends, you're not being an effective advocate. We got to tell the story of our clients, okay? Because oftentimes when they come to us, whether it's coming to you as a public adjuster or coming to you as an attorney, they're at the end of their rope. We're seeing them at their lowest after a hurricane has devastated their home, after a flood has caused extensive damage, after a tornado has come through. And even if it is more of a minor roof claim, it's still a stressful situation for them. Okay? So we have to be their voice. We have to effectively advocate on their behalf. So to be an effective advocate, learn your client's story, because you got to be able to convey that story to the insurance company. We can all look at the numbers on Xactimate, but that doesn't tell the whole story. You didn't know it today, but when you signed up for the conference, you all became speakers. You're all speakers at this conference. Meaning, I think the best education is when we all share together collectively. So when it's people up on the main stage talking, or when it's in the breakout sessions, participate, ask questions. We're all here to learn from each other. I also want you to participate in the forums that are out there, on the Facebook groups. Collectively, if we're going to get away from allowing the insurance companies to separate and segregate us, we have to work together. And the only way we're going to work together is by communicating with each other and sharing information so we can all learn from each other. If you're an attorney, the best education I've ever gotten is going out and getting on a roof with a public adjuster, or going out with one of my experts and walking the roof. If you're a public adjuster, sitting down and talking to an attorney, talking to a contractor, can be a really good education so you understand what the other's trying to do. We all have to collectively work together. We all have a part and role to play in this. I like telling people it's a relay race. Sometimes that first leg of the race is the contractor. Sometimes the next leg is the public adjuster. And sometimes if it's a 3 race, you have to make 3 laps, the attorney gets involved. But we're all running our race, and we all want to be able to pass that baton on to each other so that we can effectively advocate for our clients. Mentor others. It's something Cal and I have really been trying to do. If you're a public adjuster, mentor other public adjusters. More importantly, if you're a public adjuster, please go mentor an attorney. Okay? Collectively, we all have to work together. I don't know what it is about this industry in particular, but it seems like there are very effective public adjusters, and there are very effective policyholder attorneys, and really good contractors out there. But for the most part, a lot of people keep things close to the vest. And so we need to have better mentorship going on. We need to work together. We need to share information collectively. We're all on the same side. Last thought. Dr. King says, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So if you leave a claim unchecked, when the insurance company says an exclusion applies, but it really doesn't, or if the insurance company goes in and they misapply policy terms and conditions, if you leave that unchecked, it sets precedent. It means it emboldens the insurance company on the next claim. It can continue to push on issues like that. So we got to collectively make sure we're fighting back against injustice anywhere, and we're fighting back on every single claim across the board. Thank you all for coming out to the conference. We're going to have a really good conference event. We have a lot of people that are still coming in with the rain traveling to get here. So I want to thank you for sharing this journey with us, being part of the first annual conference. We've already made a commitment that we're going to keep doing this and keep going forward. We all want to learn and grow from each other. So last thought, please, here at the conference, and the forums, and working with people, please go out and communicate with each other. By having everybody's input, everybody's sharing information, that's really the key that we need to fight back against insurance companies. Thank you. Yep. Do you have anything else? Okay.
Darrick, you want to introduce yourself? Whose water is that? Darrick is going to be your master of ceremonies. He's one of the young men that's been to the boot camp and is one that has impressed me the most. This is a big stage for all of us. Specifically, I like to see what he's done. And as you can tell, we like to incorporate everybody at some point in time that has come to the boot camp is brought back into the fold somewhere. So Darrick is one of those people. He will be the one doing the introductions. And thank y'all.
Yeah, well,
if John's ready, I think that they have what time is it?
take maybe about a 5-minute break, and then we'll get started with our first speaker, John.
Okay. So we got 5 minutes.